Qatar Women's Sports Committee is dedicated to supporting and developing opportunities for women in sport.
The movement for women's participation in sports in Qatar emerged from a complex interplay of social, political, and cultural factors. Traditionally, women's roles in Qatari society were primarily domestic, centered on family responsibilities. This conservative outlook, prevalent in many Gulf countries, shaped a public perception that viewed physical activities, especially sports, as inappropriate for women. Engaging in such activities was believed to compromise a woman's reputation and distract her from her primary roles at home. Consequently, pursuits deemed appropriate for women often revolved around homemaking and social engagements. In the late 20th century, Qatar began to experience a shift in its societal attitudes towards women's rights and empowerment. Educational reforms, economic diversification, and the effects of globalization prompted discussions around gender inclusion. Advocacy from prominent figures, particularly Sheikh Moza bin Nasser Al Misnar, the president of the Family Affairs Council and second wife of the former emir, played a critical role in advancing women's rights in education, significantly impacting various sectors, including sports. Qatar's leadership under Sheikh Hamad bin Khalifa Al Thani pursued modernization policies aimed at increasing women's participation in societal roles. The government sought alignment with international organizations like the International Olympic Committee and FIFA, which championed gender equity in sports. Hosting international sporting events such as the 2006 Asian Games put additional pressure on Qatar to enhance women's sports programs to meet global standards. Through sports diplomacy, Qatar aimed to present a progressive national image, particularly in light of the upcoming 2022 FIFA World Cup. Culturally, the integration of women into sports encountered hesitancy due to the influence of Islamic and Arab traditions, which raised concerns about modesty and public visibility. The establishment of the Qatar Women's Sports Committee, QWSC, in 2000 by Sheikh Moza was instrumental in this regard. The QWSC focused on creating women-only sports facilities and events, enabling female athletes to compete while respecting local customs. The gradual rise in women's education and increased media representation, notably through channels like Al Jazeera, contributed to a cultural shift toward accepting female athletes. The successes of prominent Qatari sportswomen such as Noura Maki in track and field and Nada Arkaji in swimming also played a vital role in challenging stereotypes and inspiring broader female participation in sports.
I'm so proud that I'm the only swimmer to represent my country, and I hope I will achieve good results. I do encourage girls to carry on with any sport activity, especially swimming.
The QWSC aims to enhance opportunities for women athletes via sustainable sport development and women's sport empowerment within Qatar and the Gulf region. This is part of a greater vision to make Qatar become a leading nation by acknowledging the significance and the link between global politics and sports, and to spread sports and physical activities in the country to sponsor and improve the Olympic movement in accordance with the principles of the Olympic Charter.
Actually, there is a big support given from the Qatar Olympic Committee, professional trainers, and of course professional doctors with Aspetar. The Olympic Committee is offering a lot of training camps, competitions, transportation are there for the athletes, and also if there is a life change for any athlete to change to be a referee or change to be a coach, it's also given to her. Thank God everything is offered, but they have to work hard for it.
The movement to encourage more women to participate in sports is heavily based in health concerns. More than 70% of the people in Qatar are overweight or obese, which is a startlingly high percentage. As a result, obesity-related illnesses like diabetes, high blood pressure, and cancer have increased. Promoting physical activity among women is thought to be an essential first step in addressing these health problems. However, participation is still restricted by societal barriers. Conventional gender roles place a strong emphasis on women's roles as mothers, spouses, and daughters, frequently putting family responsibilities ahead of individual well-being. Women also wear abayas and hijabs due to cultural expectations of modesty, which might limit their range of motion and deter them from doing sports. Women are further discouraged from active lifestyles by the persistent notion that participating in sports may be viewed as unfeminine. Given that Qatar's urbanization has led to sedentary lifestyles, environmental variables add still another level of complication. For the majority of the year, the severe weather restricts outdoor activities and people find it challenging to regularly exercise. To combat this, QWSC aims to raise public awareness of the value of sports, improve women's athletic performance, increase their involvement in domestic and international sporting events, sessions, and conferences, and strengthen their administrative and technical capabilities in these activities.
The Qatar Women's Sports Committee has made significant progress in promoting women's sports, marking notable achievements and policy changes. One key initiative has been the collaboration with educational institutions, leading to the development of tailored sports programs for women, such as the Creating Pathways program by the Qatar Foundation. Launched in 2024 with Olympic gold medalist Safan Hassan as the ambassador, this program aims to nurture local girls' sporting talent in track and field by providing world-class training and support.
Especially here in the Qatar, is like this is one of great things, and to show the female and they have to exercise. The exercise is one of the great things for you, longevity, to live longer and to have more confidence, to have great open-minded, spiritual or strong body. That's when you have a strong body and strong spiritual. That is when you have confidence.
Additionally, Qatar has established women-only training facilities and competitions, respecting cultural norms while encouraging broader participation. A landmark moment for women's sports in Qatar was the historic milestone of sending female athletes to the 2012 London Olympics for the first time, with Bahia Al-Ahmad competing in shooting and serving as the flag bearer during the opening ceremony, symbolizing a significant step toward gender equality in sports.
Our first Olympic participation was in 2012, and many other countries it was their first as well. In many areas, when we see all athletes from different nationalities, different religion, different color, all of them just together for the love of sport. So of course it brings peace for everyone.
The commitment to women's sports continued at the 2016 Rio Olympics, where Qatar sent its largest ever delegation, which included 2 female athletes, Nada Arakji in swimming and Dila Al-Hathi in athletics. The nation is also focused on enhancing the future of women's sports, particularly football, with increased participation in FIFA-backed initiatives. Qatar aims to bolster its women's national football team. Additionally, grassroots initiatives have been expanded to encourage more girls to participate in sports from a young age, with programs such as the Qatar Foundation's Women's and Girls Football Initiative, which has seen active engagement in teacher training and football education. Furthermore, Qatar has established partnership with international sports organizations such as FIFA and Adidas to promote gender equality and ensure the growth and success of female athletes. These collective efforts illustrate Qatar's dedication to creating a vibrant, inclusive sporting landscape for women.
The QWSC is in alignment with global feminist movements in that although the organization faces unique challenges from a regional context, they continue to aim to challenge traditional gender norms in the region by advancing gender equality in sports. Unlike some global feminist movements, the QWSC operates within a culturally conservative environment, requiring a balanced approach that respects local values while promoting progress. Similar to international feminist movements, the QWSC pushes for women's inclusion in elite sports, education, and community engagement. The 2001 Asian Conference on Women in Sport in Doha resulted in major resolutions supporting women in athletics. For example, the pioneer of women's golf, Shuruk Al-Sawadi, started playing in 2004 under the sponsorship of the Qatar Golf Association, or QGA, and made history by being the first female representative of her nation at the Asian Games in Doha in 2006. Yasmin Al-Sharshani became the sole member of the women's national team when she joined the QGA 2 years later and competed for Qatar in the 2011 Doha Arab Games.
I always push any girls, whatever they have motivation for any sport, like go and try it.
Alam Al-Mana, chairperson of Qatar's Women's Sports Committee, was motivated to promote women's football after FIFA held a women's football workshop in 2004. Initially, a scaled-down indoor variation of the sport called futsal was embraced due to cultural reluctance in Qatar. However, the Gulf Monarchy started the Women's Football League in 2012, which is in its 3rd season and now includes 7 clubs. The first conference on the history of women in sport in Doha was also held in 2012 and was organized by the Qatar Museum of Olympic sports in collaboration with the Qatar Women's Sport Committee and the Qatar Olympic Committee to explore the historical and future roles of women in sports. The event addressed themes such as gender equality, empowerment, and leadership, and marked a significant milestone in promoting women's sports within Qatar and the Gulf Cooperation Council, or GCC, region. International speakers and experts were featured, facilitating a cross-cultural dialogue on women's roles in sports. Notably, the presence of members from the Qatari Al Thani royal family underscored the significance of the women's sports movement both regionally and globally. Such collaborations highlight the support of international bodies in advancing women's sports in Qatar and the broader GCC region. The QWSC and Qatar Foundation also partnered with the International Olympic Committee to promote inclusion and gender equity in sports across Asia and the MENA region, with Alam Salim Mubrak Al-Mana even receiving an award in 2013 for her efforts towards women's rights. As recently as February 2025, Qatar's permanent mission to the United Nations, the Qatar Olympic Committee, and the International Center for Sport Security, or ICSS, hosted a high-level event in Geneva on women's empowerment in sports. There it was announced that the state of Qatar created a dedicated fund for women in sports, which further highlights Qatar's investment in gender equity in the realm of sports. These instances serve as evidence that shows how global feminist principles coincide with the QWSC's local initiatives and the power of sports as a tool of gender empowerment.